Hello, my friend. Welcome to live chat. If you are new here, hi, my name is Jen, and welcome to our community live chat. This week, I just need like a decompress day. You know what I mean? Like anybody else feeling like that? Like there's just so much going on. There's so much pressure. There's so much things, and there's just so much like, ugh, and I just need to like chill. Like I need to just like sit in it and just like relax and hang out with my people. And if you're here, you're my people. Whether you're here live or on the replay, thank you for being here. We're just going to hang out and just relax and chill this morning. And if you're into that, I'm into it with you. We might be talking about makeup. We might be talking about personal things in my life. We might be talking about, I don't know, things that are happening. I don't know. I'd rather keep it pretty lighthearted though, if we can, because there's only so many places in this world that we can escape. And it's nice to have that sometimes, to just kind of have a place where you can just not think about other things, because there's plenty of other times we can think about things. So let's do that. But before we do, I want to say very quickly, hello to the people that are here live in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, also known as the people that are here in live chat. You should be seeing them chatting right here. If you don't, you may be here very early after the video. They call it rendering. Sometimes it takes about 15 to 30 minutes for YouTube to render that. Same thing with captions. I've had a couple people upset because the closed captions are not showing up. Sometimes YouTube takes a while to process. I did click on closed captions, and I did click on the making sure live chat goes on the replay. So if you don't see those, they should be coming. I have no control over what YouTube does. All I can do is click the buttons. So let me just very quickly say hello to the people that are here live, romper room style. Good morning, Andrea. So good to see you. Good morning to Jilly Mac. Thank you, all of you, for coming back every week. I so appreciate that. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you enjoyed chat. And it's so good to see you. Alyssa, so good to see you. Good morning. Good morning, Teresa, and the rest of the moderators. Thank you for taking time out of your morning to hang out with me. I appreciate you helping out my most trusted people. I appreciate you. Teresa says, hello, everyone. Welcome back to live chat. Hope you are all doing well. Isn't she lovely? Thank you, Teresa. Good morning, Alicia. Welcome back. So good to see you. Good morning, Consuelo. Good to see you. Good morning, Jess. Jess says, happy Sunday. If you want to help out Jen and the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, please like and share this video. Sending extra love to my fellow Texans this week. Thank you, Jess, and sending extra love to you as well. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Gretchen. A little early for the first time. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. And if I did not say good morning to you, good morning to you. And just a quick shout out to Monica. Kids turned 18 now and graduate this week. Congratulations to you and your family. And Sherry, good morning to you. All right, I'm stopping now. It's hard to stop sometimes. So let's see what is happening lately. The only thing that's happening on social right now that is like, to me, lighthearted but it's about Jeffree Star, and it's like, do I really want to go there? Do I really want to talk about Jeffree Star and his yak farm and his yak meat? Not really. I think what I just want to briefly just say, there are so many people. There are billions of people in the United States, or at least a billion. I don't know how many people live in the United States. It's not a statistic I have in my brain, but it's like he's just one of the people, and it's like, I don't care if he has a yak farm. Like, I don't care. Like, there's so many people out there that I do care about. I don't have a care. Like, there's no reason to. There's nothing that makes me care. So I figured I would just leave it at that. If you want to know more information about it, there's plenty of it out there. Twitter is a plethora of information, and you can Google it if you want to know, but I don't care. And that's really the only thing that's like happening right now to like chat about. So if you have any suggestions, let me know in the chat of what you're interested in. I actually tweeted this morning because I couldn't think of anything to chat about. And I ended up taking the very first person that commented, Justin, who's been a part of the community for a really long time. I said, what should I talk about in chat today? And Justin said, talk about family and Mad Marshmallow stuff and just chit chat with the chat and see what everyone brings up or talks about. Those tend to be the funniest live videos, in my opinion. Also, I love the tweets about your son. What an amazing human person. And that was something that I shared on Twitter that we can talk about as well. Oh, thank you so much, Siri. Roughly 332 million people in the US. See, I need y'all to Google this stuff for me because I can't Google it right now. Thank you so much. But there's hundreds of millions of people. There you go. Thank you. There's a bunch of people telling me 300 million plus. Thank you. There's so many people in this world. And I feel like as a society, as a person, not as a society, but as an individual person, we have to choose who we care about. Like, who do we want to follow? Who are we really interested in? Who following their journey is going to add value to our lives in some point? And sometimes, it's just not like, it's not adding value. So you just got to cut it out, you know? We only have so many hours in the day. We only have so many things we can dedicate our mind to. And it's a choice. It's a choice sometimes. Sometimes, of course, it's not, there's no statement that is universal for everything, but a lot of it is a choice. Oh, apparently there's a new Top Gun movie. It looked pretty good. I have to say, I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. I was back in the day in the cocktail Top Gun days, but yeah, there's a new Top Gun movie. And Kristen says, if you guys haven't seen Top Gun, you need to. I saw it last night. It was probably even better than the first. I know this isn't makeup related, but just wanted to say that's okay. I will probably wait till it comes on my television because going to the movies is just not something I feel like doing right now. I bet it's great in the theater, though. I bet the audio is wonderful. All right. Gretchen says, Jen, your makeup is pretty. Cleopatra asks, thank you. I'll tell you what's on my face at the midpoint. I'm really excited to share with you the liner thing. It was actually sent in PR, and it's not like a new concept, but I want to share it with you because I was pleasantly surprised with how my eyeliner went on today. Very pleasantly surprised. Oh, Jess. Jess, as I choose to follow Jen Loves, she and her splendid community have provided me significant value. See, I'm so glad. And I think that's what it's all about. I think that, sometimes people like get in this thing of where they want to follow somebody because they like the person, but they don't actually like their content because you want to support. But it's like, when you like somebody and they can provide significant value, I think that's the big win. I think that's the really big win. So thank you. I'm so glad that I get to be one of those people for you, Jess. And I appreciate you. I do. I genuinely do. I'm not sure if you're talking about my channel or something else, but Lele says, I think about who I followed. Oh, you're just talking about in general. Sometimes comprehension's off. I think about who I followed 5 years ago versus now, and it's very different. Oh, totally. Me too. But I think the landscape has changed on YouTube. And I saw Christy had put up a video, Raw Beauty Christy had put up a video about how the beauty community is dead. I don't believe that. I actually didn't get a chance to watch Christy's video yet, even though I absolutely adore her. But I don't think the beauty community is dead. I think that it's just, the way that people want beauty content presented, I think is different than it used to be. I think there was a time when reviews were the big thing. And I think right now, the people that seem to be doing the best are the people that are, one, very pretty. Not one, they're not in any particular order. Very pretty, very talented at makeup, and have an interesting personality and get really close up in the camera, and really show how a product goes on. And I think that those are key points, I think, in having a successful beauty YouTube channel right now. At least that's what it seems like when I look at the people that people seem to want to watch. And, it's just, it's different because I feel like 5 years ago, like Lele is saying, is I feel like, pretty much anybody could go on and review a product. And as long as it was a new product that people were interested in, I think that people would tune in. And there were certain products that were seen as, the ones that everybody was talking about, that everybody was excited about. And if you got those products early, then you got a lot of views and people were really interested. But I think the big shift now is that people don't care about the new releases nearly as much as they used to. The days of the Too Faced Sweet Peach collection are over. The Urban Decay launches, I think it started fading at like the Game of Thrones palette. I think that was when things started to kind of taper off for palettes that people were really excited about. And I don't think those videos get a ton of views anymore. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because there's so many beauty video creators out there. Maybe there are some reviewers that still do that do very, very well. I do still create that kind of content because I enjoy it, but it definitely doesn't get the excitement. It's not even really about the views. It's about the excitement, even in the comment section of the videos. No, people just don't seem as excited about new products. And I think it's because a lot of us that are in the beauty space have been doing this for a while. And, people making videos, people watching videos, and it's like, we're just kind of bored with, we have a lot of stuff. We don't need more stuff. And something else needs to catch our attention. And it's not about that anymore, the latest new release. It's about more the application and whether the product is functional, whether it works, whether it's something different to the market. I think that's what's getting the eyes. And of course, I think the number one, I think, in the hierarchy is the personality of the person that's creating the videos. I think that really is the key, is how likable that person is to the viewers. I'm going to scroll down quite a bit because I was talking for a while. Let's see. Aww. Edgy Loves Makeup Henny says, I feel like I don't belong here. I feel so sad. I love this channel, but sometimes I have the feeling I don't connect. It's nobody's, and that's valid. My name is Edu. Well, I'm so sorry that you don't feel connected. I don't know what if you could give me more information of why you don't feel connected. And maybe because I don't know. I don't know why. And I'm so sorry that you feel that way. That's never the intention of the channel, is to make anybody feel like they don't belong. I'm so sorry you feel that way. I want to give you a hug. Can I give you a hug through the camera here? I'm going to give you a hug. I'm so sorry. The only thing I can think of is just like, I feel like it's sometimes hard to find people that you vibe with. And we can't vibe with every person, unfortunately. I would absolutely love to vibe with you. I would love to, but I don't know how to vibe with everybody. I can just be myself, and hopefully people will vibe with me, but I don't know how to do that. But hopefully one day you'll feel a little more connected. That's the goal. I'll just kind of keep being me and you keep being you, and hopefully one day it'll feel a little bit better. Oh, we were talking about following people. Dog Mom Amanda says, I used to follow JS, but after the Tati James shame thing, I realized, wow, he's icky. People with icky energy do not deserve to be in my positive space in life, real or online. And I think sometimes it's easy to be gravitated toward the negative, because it stimulates emotion. It stimulates adrenaline. It might stimulate, thoughts. And it's sometimes hard to be like, you know what, I know that this is stimulating me right now, but I don't want that kind of stimulation. That kind of stimulation isn't benefiting me. And we have to curate that carefully for ourselves as far as what is going to add value to our lives.
Are you ready for asking me anything?
Yeah, sure. John's got a question from somebody.
So this was from earlier before I don't know. I think you scrolled down past it. So Nice Gigi asks, tell us about your children's path to self-discovery and how you support them. As much as you think is appropriate.
Okay. All right.
Such an outstanding mom. And props to John too.
Oh, thank you, Gigi. I'm gonna scroll and see if I can find it so I can put it on the
It's
screen,
pretty
but
far up.
okay. Yeah, there's a lot of comments, so I might not be able to find it. So that's a big topic. I think that being a parent is an adventure. We just went from like deep makeup to parenting, but I think being a parent is an adventure because you have this little baby and you don't really know who they are. You just know you're going to have this little roommate for at least 18 years. And they just kind of they're just all of a sudden there. And when they're little, that you can start seeing their personality popping out, 1, 2, 3, 4 years old. And it's like, oh, okay, this is who you are. Cool. All right, let's go with that. And then as they get older, they change into different people almost as their brains develop and grow. And I feel like with Phoenix, who's my oldest, that's non-binary, with Phoenix, I feel like they kind of had a switch at puberty, when they hit 13. It was almost like they were 4 years old again, and I was seeing a new part of their personality. And it was interesting, because as a parent, it's hard to let go of who you think your child is and who you think your child will be. And then something switches, and like you start seeing a new side of them. And sometimes the switch is a biological switch in that 13, there's a lot happening in the brain and in the body. And you realize there's a new part of your child that you didn't know. And it's like, wait a minute, who are you? Like, where did you even come from? Like, I thought you were this person, and now you're telling me that you're this person. And it's hard as a parent to not like make it all about you. And realize like you have to kind of take a step back and just be like, it's not about me, that my child is who they are, and it has nothing to do with me. All I can do is sit back, as we used to call it in teaching, the guide on the side, and asking and teaching. It was all about asking leading questions and helping the children to come up with their own conclusions and their own answers. And I think with children that are your own biological children, it's helping them to find their path on their own journey, which sometimes doesn't is a different path than you expected. And understanding that it's not about you, and that your kid is going to be who they are, and it has nothing to do with you. So that's been very interesting, and just supporting them in that journey. And I will tell you, one thing I always tell my kids is that mental health is number one. Mental health and physical health are number one, and everything else is on the side. School for me is not as important as mental health and physical health. If school is interfering with your mental health, then we need to talk about how we're doing school. If your friends are interfering with your mental health, we need to talk about your relationship with your friends and how we can change that, and how we can work with your mindset in your relationship with your friends. So, I think that when Phoenix came out as non-binary, and they were very upset and having a lot of issues before that. I don't want to go too much into their personal life, but there was a lot going on emotionally there that was very not good. And then when they came out, it was like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon. They immediately became happier. They immediately had better relationships with their friends. They immediately had better relationships with us. It was like a whole nother, it just brought them so much freedom. And that, I think, is the true gift that I think you can give a child going through something like that, is just to accept them for who they are. And then with my son, we're not really sure as far as like, I mean, he's only 10, he's about to turn 11. So, we're just supporting him as he goes. The story that I told on Twitter is that he had a big presentation. They have this big presentation in the elementary schools around here where it's a political thing, where they talk about, things that happened in the past. They relate them to current events, and it's supposed to be like Congress almost. So a kid told him, you can't wear a dress. I don't know how this even came up. You can't wear a dress to school for this presentation. It was like a virtual presentation that was being, parents could tune in from all over the school. And the kid said, you can't wear a dress. You're not allowed. You're a boy. And he came home and he said, this kid told me I can't wear a dress. I'm a boy. I was like, do you want to wear a dress? He's like, yeah. was like, well, then you're wearing a dress to school then if you want to. I mean, like, you need to do what you think is right. I mean, you need to go with your heart on it. So my 10-year-old boy wore a dress to school and was broadcast to parents. And the thing is, the best part about it was that he didn't flinch. Like he was sitting there with the rest of his classmates, presented the way that he normally would, as if he was wearing typically gender masculine clothing. I mean, he just was like, it doesn't matter. And I don't think he realizes the impact of what he's doing as far as that. I don't think he realizes that that means a lot to stand up for people, whether he ends up being a person that enjoys more feminine clothing or not. He stood up for people that do enjoy that are, seen as male by society, that want to wear more feminine clothing. He stood up for those people that day and told all of his classmates and anybody else watching that you can wear something that is not gender conforming and be confident, and it's not a big deal. It's whatever. And those kids may take that with them, and those parents may take that with them for the rest of their lives. And I'm just so incredibly proud of him for doing that. I mean, my kids are amazing people. They're incredible people. And I'm just so proud of both of them for just being who they are and saying to anybody that says they can't be who they are, I don't care. I'm going to be who I am. And that's just the way that it is. So I'm going to go over to the community real quick. And that's, Jody wanted to know, sorry, Jody, I called you Judy. Jody, did you teach in a Montessori school? I did not, but my oldest Phoenix did go to Montessori school when they up through kindergarten. And my son went through being 4 through preschool. Heidi says, as a trans woman, I'm so proud how happy and open you are to talk about this. Thank you both, Jen and John. And I want to thank my kids too. My kids have given me the pass to talk about it a little bit. Oh, Gigi says, crying. I wish all kids had parents like you too. And I think the more that parents are public about how they support their children, the easier it is for other parents to have a path. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a role model for anybody. I mean, I had to look up books. I had to, I listened to audiobooks and I did research, and I was like, how do I do this? And I went through a rough patch where I was like, all those dumb things that are not real, all those things that like, what did I do to, like all the negative things that are just so dumb. And I had to beat them out of me because society has told me certain things about, transgender children and, gender and all of that. And sometimes those thoughts can leak into your head and you're like, wait a minute, no. And you have to correct those thoughts. And I went through a period as a mom where I was like thinking all of those things that are not the way that I wanted to be thinking. So I had to really dig in and educate myself and change my mindset, make a conscious decision to change my mindset. And it's been very beneficial to do that. Sherry says, mental health is so important to kids. I used to give mine 1 day a month that they could take off from school, and I'd let the school know. And I think if your kids need that, then as a former teacher, if your kids need that, and the thing about that is, will missing school hurt them in that they'll miss so much that will stress them out? That would be my question. And it sounds like your kids, it was more beneficial to have that day off once a month. Oh, thank you so much to Sphinx for becoming a member of the Collective Brain Elite. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And there was another one. Thank you to Brick Bard for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Thank you. Wendy says, I feel like clothes are mainly gendered one way. As a girl, I never felt like wearing pants was a boy thing. Yeah, and I think that it's easier for people that were born female and present as female to wear more masculine clothes than it is for people who were born male and identify as male to wear female clothes. So I think that it's a masculinity thing. Our society really pushes the masculine man, and that's the only way for boys and men to be, where I feel like there's a little bit more wiggle room for girls. And non-binary is a whole nother category. Jamie says, you're cool. Your kids are cool AF. I've loved watching my friends raise kids that I would have wanted to hang out with as a kid. Good work. And I love hanging out with my kids, man. My kids are so fun. Like, they're such cool people. They're such cool people. Yeah, Ray Day's Beauty Lookout says it's important to educate the community. Your children are powerful voices. Most parents are afraid to let their children be themselves for fear of repercussions. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that we are very lucky to live in an area where it is more accepted, where their teachers accept them. Like Phoenix's teachers uh, call them they, them pronouns for the most part. I think some of them have a hard time with it, but they're not using the wrong pronouns to be disrespectful. They're not doing it to misgender them on purpose. It's more of, I'm not used to this. This is difficult for me. And it just doesn't come naturally. So we're very lucky to live in an area that's so accepting. We really are. If you don't know, we live in the state of Maryland, and we live in a more liberal area between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So it's nice. And also, one thing that's great too about the school is that they let the kids change their name in the school system, in their computer system. So Phoenix went in and changed their name at the beginning of the school year, and the teachers never said anything, never like made a big deal about it, and it's been great. And they have pronouns in the school, in the system, so Phoenix could put in they them pronouns. And it's just a different place to live than a lot of places in the country, and we're very lucky. Honey says, I personally don't feel like children should have to worry about gender or sexual identity. Kids should just be kids, wear what they want, play how they want, and just be happy. And that is a very popular opinion. And I think what I would say to that is, in order to wear what they want, play how they want, and just be happy, gender and sexual identity is extremely important. It's not about worrying about it. It's about, okay, so I think there's a misconception that gender identity and sexual identity are chosen, and it's not. It's not. It's just who the person is. And I think that in order to just be kids, my children need to, it's not a worry about gender and sexual identity. It's a freedom of gender and sexual identity, if that makes sense. People see it as a negative to being gender nonconforming when it's not. The only reason why being gender nonconforming is a negative is because society makes it a negative. The only reason why sexual identity is a negative is because society makes it negative. Sexual identity doesn't have to do with sex. It doesn't have to do with intercourse. It has to do with who you are attracted to. And I think that people try to make it something dirty and something that kids shouldn't have to deal with. But if you remember being like, I had my first crush on a boy when I was 8 years old, Corey Haim. I had pictures of him on my wall, and I remember the butterflies for the first time. And I was like, wow, this is an amazing feeling. And it doesn't matter who I saw and was attracted to at that age, but attraction is going to be there regardless. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be, my point is, it doesn't have to be this like taboo topic if we just accept people for who they are. It doesn't have to be a worry if we just accept people for who they are. If that makes sense. How'd I do? uh, Ash says, I came out as trans masculine when I was in high school, and I wish my parents had been as accepting as you both. I wish more parents realized how powerful familial exception is for queer youth. Oh, absolutely. 100%. And I'm very, very fortunate. Like, my side of the family, like we don't really communicate as much with John's side of the family, but my side of the family is like all about it. Like, my brother is like, my brother is very straight, and his nails are rainbow right now. for Pride. He's a counselor, and he counsels youth, and he has, trans youth, and he wanted to show support, so he painted his nails. I'm very lucky to have such a supportive family. And I think the more of us supportive parents are out there just kind of saying it's okay to be supportive of your children. Like, we can say F society standards and just love our kids. It's okay. We can do that. Like, it might be scary at first, but like, they're your kids, man. Like, we've got to do that. If we don't support our kids, it's like, what does that say to them? Yeah, AFRS says, Gretchen, it's a law that Florida passed that makes it illegal for teachers to mention any references to gay stuff, I guess. They can get in legal trouble for admitting gay people exist. Yeah, they're just supposed to say, like, when I was a teacher, if a kid said to me, how are babies made? I wasn't told what to say. But what I would say is, that's a good question. I would love for you to go home and ask your parents that. And that is, I think, what they're saying in Florida that teachers are supposed to do. If someone says, I know that Johnny has two moms. Why does Johnny have two moms and I have a mom and a dad? Teachers are supposed to say, well, that's a good question. Go home and ask your parents. The problem with that is when Johnny sees that, the teacher saying, go home and ask your parents, it's seen as like a dirty thing. Like, that it's inappropriate, that that Johnny's family is inappropriate, which to me is not okay to say that Johnny's family is inappropriate when Johnny gets love at home, when Johnny has, parents that love each other. It's like, why is that such a big deal? There's all kinds of families out there, and I think it's important to be accepting of everybody's family situation, whether you're being raised by a grandmother, whether you're in foster care, whether you're adopted, whether, you have one mom or just one dad or two dads, or a non-binary parent and a gay dad. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as there's love. The love is what's important. And I don't know why this is so difficult. I do know why it's so difficult. And I think that the more we talk about it, the easier it is for society to just say, you know what, as long as there's love, that's what's important, All right, we are at the halfway point. So let's take a little bit of a break and let's talk about what's on my face today. What's up?
Oh, where did it go?
Oh no, what happened?
Oh no, somebody was like, is this the decompressing chat you were looking for?
Oh my gosh, this is not the decompressing chat I was looking for. You're right. It's not.
Whatever, you said ask me anything.
I did. This is not the decompressing chat I was looking for. Because it's like, you want to say everything in an articulate way. And sometimes saying things like this in an articulate way is not easy to do. Like, I know what I feel in my heart, but sometimes articulating it is difficult. That's so funny. All right. So very, very quickly, what's on my face today? So I set up my eye look. I'll tell you as we go what was PR and what was purchased. So this was PR from Hindash. I used this shade and this shade to set up my look. And then I had a lot of fun playing with some Cleona shadows that they sent me a very long time ago. So on my lid, I have this shade right here. It's called Cathedral. I want to swatch these for you because they really are super fun. Cathedral. And then I also have this shade called Chamomile. That's what's all over my lid. Kind of show you. Bam, I love this autofocus. It brings me so much joy. There we go. So pretty, right? And then on my lower lash line, I had a lot of fun. I used this shade first because this shade always calls to me, but I'm always kind of scared to use it. It's called Ciel, I believe, Ciel. And it's a beautiful color, but putting it on the eyes is very intimidating. And then I used a little bit of this one called Aqua Vital. There's that. And then I had to deepen up the outer corner of the lower lash line because it was looking a little creepy being so bright all the way across. So I used this shade called Ursa. And those are those on the finger. Oh my gosh. Ah, they're so pretty. I'm running out of space here. I think I can make it. I'll just swatch it on the wrist. There we go. So those are the shades that, Those are the shades that are on my eyes today. And yeah, they're all Cleona Cosmetics. On my cheeks, on my eyes, the other thing I want to tell you about is this. This was just sent to me by Lottie London, and I opened it up and I was a little nervous because I didn't have time to redo my eye look if I messed it up with this. This is called the Stamp Liner, and this has been what was it? Started with a V. It was a company that started with a V. They came out with stamp eyeliner stamps, and it was you pressed it into a liquid, I think. It's been a while since I've used it, but there was like a pressing and then you pressed it on your eye. The product goes into the wing stamp. It just goes directly in. Let me see if you can see. So you don't have to worry about getting the right amount of product, because one of the biggest problems with that product was it sometimes would come out patchy if you didn't get it evenly applied. So this did come out evenly applied. This is the first time I've used it, and it's big. It's bigger than I'm used to, but I think it looks pretty good. The marker tip on the other side is very fat, but because the tip is so tiny, it was easy to draw it on my lid, and I really liked it. I was surprised. I don't typically like marker tip liners because they're so stiff, but this one actually worked really, really well. It's very, very black, very, very opaque, no streakiness at all. Really enjoyed using this for the first time today, and I'm going to keep using it. And then on my cheeks today, I used, this is PR, the new Sigma Matte Bronzer in Light. And that is very nice. It goes on very well, just typical Sigma amazingness. And then I purchased this. This is Batty Berry by Huda Beauty, and it is their stick blush. And it's very nice. I don't know if it's worth the price point when Milani makes a very similar product, but it is very, very nice. And then this is also purchased. This is the ColourPop Fresh Kiss. This is what's on my lips. And this is in the shade Cornerstone right there. And it did not go on streaky like the dark one did. So I was really happy to see that. So that is what is on my face today. So we can keep talking about this stuff if you want to, or we can switch topics to something a little more lighthearted if we want to. It is up to you. We'll go with wherever you want to go. Oh, thank you, Tanner. Tanner says 450 in chat. Don't forget to give the stream some love and a thumbs up. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Mary says, got to vote for the leaders that will do the most good for the most people. And I think that that's absolutely true. And I think that part of this is also kind of deep, but I think one thing I've learned about some friends of mine that watch different media than I do is that we're fed different truths. And when we live in two completely different countries, essentially, where you're fed two different truths, it's hard to come together because everybody thinks the other people are lying. So it's like, it's hard to come together and vote for people that will do the most good because we can't agree on who will do the most good. We have extremely different opinions on who will do good based on the information that we are fed by whatever we're consuming. So Sphinx, I do believe that the liner is available on their website. I didn't check it, but I think so. If somebody Googles it for me, the Lottie London stamp liner, it says Wing Edition on it. We can probably find that out, but I don't want to spend time in silence looking it up right this second. Thriving and Beyond says, I've never been able to do a perfect wing on my eyes. The best I can do is a baby flick that doesn't extend very far. Maybe I need to try a stamp. I will tell you, it will probably be shocking the first time if you use something like this, because it's so big and it can, like, you're going to look at it and be like, that looks dumb. But honestly, I think it looks good. I do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a baby wing. One thing that I've done with a wing is just to extend it just a little more than you feel comfortable. Like you do the baby wing and then just extend it a tiny bit further until you feel more comfortable and see if you like it. And maybe you just don't like big wings on yourself, but I like big wings and I cannot lie. I've told that joke way too many times recently. Way too many times. All right, let me scroll down a bit. Yeah, Crystal says our country is much too large and very difficult to manage. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Makeup says opinion is not truth. And the hardest part is that opinion feels like truth to the person who has that opinion, and And there are certain things that are very personal where you have an opinion, but your opinion comes from your own personal experience, which is your truth. So it's really difficult. It's really difficult. Yes, 100% Karen. Karen says everyone should vote, even in election years where it's not for president. Oh, definitely. Local leaders. Oh my gosh, so important. Local elections matter too. I live in a blue state, but locally it's red and can be here. Long Island. Gotcha.
People want a marshmallow update.
Marshmallow update. Andrea, how's the marshmallow business going? It is going so well. I am so excited. It's fun. My favorite part of it at the market. So I give out gifts with purchase when somebody buys marshmallows. I have like little tastes. So I break out my gloves and I give people a little taste of different marshmallows and it's people that have never tried them before. My favorite part is seeing their face where they're like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? This is incredible. And it's like, I know. So it is it's really fun. It's one of the most fun things that I've done in my entire life. Just trying to get the flavors right. If you don't know, if you're new to the channel or if you've never known, I own a marshmallow company called Mad Marshmallows. It's a small cottage food business, so I only sell within my state. I did get some resources, some commercial kitchen resources this past weekend that I'm going to look into. Once I can move into a commercial kitchen, then I can ship outside the state. I have to tell you, I am terrified. I've talked about this before about expanding because I know that it is going to take a lot more time. It's going to be a lot more work. And I'm already struggling. Like, as you know, I didn't put up a video this Friday. I'm already struggling to keep up with my current schedule and keep my mental and physical health because I have to practice what I preach to my children and keep my mental and physical health. And sometimes that means stopping and taking a day to decompress. This chat was supposed to but taking some time, and usually Sundays are that day, but it has not been, and it won't be today. It won't be a decompressed day. I'm actually working at Locally Crafted, which is the place where my marshmallows are sold. I'm going down there to work because they do ask people for volunteers. So I think that I'm nervous about expanding to a commercial kitchen because I know that is going to be more of a time investment, more of a money investment as the business grows. And it's like, do I want that? Do I want to grow my business? Or am I happy with it being a cottage food business and just giving marshmallows to people that are local? I have to decide that. And it's a hard decision to make because you don't necessarily see a clear path of what's going to happen with either choice. It's hard. Alyssa says, I don't think feelings are a bad thing. Paying attention to how you feel is important because if something doesn't feel right, you should figure out why. Absolutely. And that's something that I've been working on personally is that, when I get myself in a negative headspace, because that happens, I call it spiraling, where it just constantly like something that maybe a choice I made in the past or something that I said once, 7 years ago, whatever, starts spiraling in my head, or a friendship that I lost and what went wrong with that will start spiraling. And I have to stop. And I need to say, okay, why do I feel bad about this? What is this doing for me? To let my brain get into that headspace, and how can I get myself out of it? Because is this spiral useful to me? Is it helpful? Is it going to help me in any way? And if the answer is no, I need to get myself out of that spiral. And figuring out why it doesn't feel right. Why I'm and doing a lot of self-analytics, and that's helped me so much with my mental health. And sometimes you just got to be in your feelings, and that's what you need to feel better. But sometimes being in your feelings too long is not productive. Oh, Liberty Chick, thank you. Or Liberty Chic. I always say Liberty Chick, Liberty Chic. I cannot wait to have Mad Marshmallows shipped to my home. They are so freaking amazing. She won one of the giveaways that I was doing. I think the last one that I did, or one of the last ones. And I mailed a 2-pack of marshmallows to everybody that won in the giveaway because I can give them away. I just can't sell them out of state. And so I'm so glad that you enjoyed them. Banana says, what's a keto-friendly marshmallow? I don't know, but when I figure it out, it's on. The problem with a keto-friendly marshmallow is you can't use sugar substitutes in the recipe that I use because it'll mess up the texture. Like you need that sugar in order, because I use sugar and I use corn syrup. So it's like that's what makes the marshmallow. So it's gonna be a while. I would love to have a keto marshmallow because then I could eat them more. Because that's kind of my dietary choices are more keto. So a keto marshmallow would be sugar-free or low sugar, but I don't know how to do that. Gluten-free is the closest dietary thing that I'm closest to right now. Gluten-free, and then I hope vegan will be next. Yeah, Wendy says, I don't like marshmallows in normal format because they make your stomach hurt and they're hard. They're like chewy in their normal format, but I love s'mores and Rice Krispie treats. That's not weird. You'd probably like mine because they're soft. They're like, a friend of mine called them fluffy fudge, and they've got lots of cool flavors and stuff. You'd probably like mine, I would imagine. Oh, thank you, Dolphins Girl. I'm not a marshmallow fan at all, but I'm curious to try yours. We'll 100% be ordering as soon as they're available in Florida. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I hope you love it. Oh, it is chick. It's not chic. It's chick. Well, I was right the whole time. Saying it wrong. I was right. Yay. And well, now I'll have to change that in my brain. Siri says, make a very small marshmallow. I have done mini marshmallows. If you go to Mad Marshmallows Instagram, I did a tasting over at Locally Crafted, and I made mini marshmallows. They call it a guitar cutter. It's super cool. It's actual guitar strings, and they fit into a stainless steel. They essentially, you lay the marshmallow down. People use it for fudge. You lay the marshmallow down on this like tray that has these slits in it, and there's these guitar strings. They're legit guitar strings, and then you go like this, and it cuts right through the marshmallow, and then you turn the whole thing, and then you cut through it again. So they're like little 1 inch. Are they 1 inch? Half an inch? Maybe half. I don't know. They're like this big, whatever that is, half an inch. So, yes. Tanner says, feelings are like children. They can be fun, strong sources of motivation, can teach you many things about yourself, but they can't drive. It's true. It's amazing. I was talking to Phoenix about this, that how many things that they are not able to do at their age, like that they would love to do. Like one of the things that Phoenix really wants to do is to be able to just go anywhere whenever they want and have that freedom. Like if they want to go out to breakfast, they can just go out to breakfast and just do that. Like, it's like, yeah, I know, kid. One day. Tiffany, I actually have a fluffy fudge idea that I got yesterday from Instagram. I get a lot of my ideas from Instagram. Karen, cotton candy flavored Peeps. I think I would be down with Mad Marshmallows. I tried a cotton candy flavor and it was too sweet. I think that the flavoring that I used too much of it. I need to cut it more with water. But then we used it for something else, I think. Do we still have that cotton candy flavoring? Do you know, husband, whether we still have that?
We should.
Yeah, I think we might. But cotton candy marshmallows, the flavor was good. It was just too sweet. The one that I did nail that's really good that I was thinking about maybe releasing in July is it's a watermelon ice. So it's got a little bit of a cooling feeling, and it's watermelon, which I feel like is like the perfect summer fruit. It's just figuring out what to roll it in. If I can nail this gluten-free marshmallow flour, then I might be able to release it without any chunky roll on the outside and just do it with the flour on the outside. But I have to nail this gluten-free marshmallow flour. Cross your fingers for me. Banana Noodle says, are the things in Lucky Charms marshmallows shrunk? I think they're dehydrated. I think that's what they do with them, I believe. All right. What else are we going to talk about? Uh, 457 people are watching me go, let's see. Ooh, butter pecan. That is such a great idea. Missy, I love that idea. Butter pecan marshmallow. You know what they make at the grocery store is they make Butterfinger chips. I've never tried them in marshmallows. I did try the toffee chips and it was awful. It was not a good thing. But maybe like a Butterfinger, butter pecan kind of situation. I did make once. It was so good. It was orange bourbon pecan marshmallow. It is the best marshmallow I've ever made, but I need to look into the regulations of if I cook the alcohol out of the bourbon, if I can sell that. And I haven't looked into that or gone into it, but that was an incredible marshmallow. And I don't even like bourbon. Oh, but it was so good. It was so good. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the business is going really, really well. The markets, people are really excited about it. Lots of repeat customers online. It's going super well. And it's just the best part for me. Well, there's two best parts. One is creating the flavors, not in any order, creating the flavors and then having people just really enjoy them and say, like, I have never tasted anything like this. And it's like, yes.
A while back, somebody asked if being an entrepreneur comes natural to you.
Oh, no.
Maybe you can talk about.
Oh, I love that question. That's a great question, babe. So does it being an entrepreneur come natural to me? So this is me. Okay. I am a person that does not like to be micromanaged. I like to be creative and I like people who appreciate my creativity, which is part of the reason why I had to leave teaching because creativity is not appreciated in most teaching jobs. You're supposed to follow the script. And I liked to think about what my kids enjoyed, my students enjoyed, and to take learning in the direction, like teach the concept, teach the standards, but through a lens of what my students at that particular year enjoyed. And they didn't like that. They wanted me to teach the standards through the materials that they provided that were generic for every student in the county, and I did not like that. So being stubborn is definitely in my nature. Being unique is in my nature. Being creative is in my nature. So that all leads to being an entrepreneur because I can kind of do my own thing. But organization is not in my nature. Following through on things, I get very overwhelmed and then I do nothing. Sometimes with a thing, that's what's kind of happened with the commercial kitchen over the past 3 or 4 months, is that I went to go see a commercial kitchen and I got so overwhelmed that I shut down and I was like, there's so many things I have to do in order to get into this particular location that I just shut down, which is not an entrepreneurial thing to do. Somebody that works at a different market that I work at came up and said, because I just launched cookies and cream marshmallows at the markets, but I haven't launched them anywhere else. They're not on my Instagram. They're not on the website. I've just kind of put them, I just haven't gotten there yet to put them on anything else. And he said, what's your most recent flavor? And I said, cookies and cream. He's like, how are you promoting that? And I was like, I haven't at all. I haven't promoted it at all. It's not even on my website yet. That entrepreneurial stuff, not in my nature at all. Not at all. But my husband is very much an entrepreneur and is very much, it's in his nature, it's in his blood. And he is really good at that stuff. So I kind of lean on him a little bit to kind of be the entrepreneur for both of us.
Like when I put the
Yeah.
marshmallows at the play.
Yes. Yeah. So like, yeah. So my oldest Phoenix was in a play at school and my husband pushed me to sell marshmallows at the play. And I actually ended up making really cool marshmallows for that.
Well, no, that was your idea, but you weren't promoting them. So they weren't selling as fast.
Oh, okay.
Tell people.
Oh, yeah.
People to buy them.
Yeah. Because I don't like pushing people. I know where he's going with this now. But there was a minute when he went upstairs. There was a minute when I was like nervous about doing it and he told me to do it. But when we were there, he was like, you need to tell people, say, hey, would you like to buy a marshmallow to support the theater department? I don't like doing that. I don't like selling things to people. I'm not a salesperson. In case you haven't noticed by my YouTube channel and my reviews, I am not a salesperson. I've never been good at sales. I don't like pushing people. It makes me feel icky. I don't like it. Hi, Janice. Janice said, totally understand feeling overwhelmed with having so many things you do and just shutting down instead. It really affects your mental health. Oh, definitely. Are you bringing the puppy? Oh my gosh, that was so cute. That's my baby. Hi, honey. You want me to? Okay, all right. Okay, I'll take it. Oh, this is my baby. I love her so much. Hi, baby. Can you sit on my lap and hang out? Oh my goodness, the big dog. I don't think he likes that very much. He's not happy about this. He's not used to being picked up. Put him down. He doesn't like it.
I got him. He's
I
fine.
know.
I'm supporting him.
I know you're supporting him.
Steph wanted to say hi to Sam.
Oh, okay. Sam says hi. He likes being up like that. He will stand up like a human and give hugs. So yeah. Oh, you're gonna take her from me? Okay. Yeah, she's wiggly.
She's licking.
Okay. When she's licking, it's like a stress thing. So yeah, those are my babies. Sam is a Brittany and Haley is a Cavalier King Charles. So thank you for that. Thank you, Steph. Steph is one of our moderators. That's amazing. Oh yeah. Are you talking about people? Steph says like there's people at the kiosks in the mall leave me alone. I have like I just turn my head as I walk by and I feel bad because they're just trying to do their job. You know, they're just trying to do their job, but I don't like it. I don't like people coming up to me and like I used to get anxiety about walking in stores in the mall, like clothing stores and stuff because I didn't want people to talk to me. Which sounds weird because I'm such a social person, but I did not like that because it's like I was always nervous about what I was going to say if somebody came up to me. Like I rehearse in my head. This is like when I was like in my late teens, early 20s. I would rehearse what I was going to say if somebody, I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. No, thank you. I don't need any help. And I would rehearse that in my head so that when they did come up to me, I would have something to say and didn't say something stupid. It's like gives me anxiety. Yeah, Makeup or Breakup blog says that is a shutdown mechanism to get overwhelmed. This semester in school, I experienced that. And then if I do shut down and don't do something, then I get mad at myself for not accomplishing that task because I shut down. So it's like, you know, it ends up putting me in a worse situation. Lately, I've been just trying to identify when I'm shutting down and just being like, okay, let me break this down. Do I need to address this right now, or can I take a break from this? Yeah, Karma says, my mother-in-law was a teacher for 22 years. She finally retired because her own creativity with her students was frowned upon. Yes, exactly. It's actually sad good teachers can't do anything creative. And I think what they're worried about is they're worried about teachers not teaching the things that they're supposed to teach because they're getting too creative. But I think that's where the principal needs to come in and know their teachers and know their teaching style and know whether kids are successful in that classroom, giving the teacher a chance to show that they can be creative and successful. And if the teacher proves that, leave them alone. You know, the kids are happy, the parents are happy, the teacher's happy, leave them alone. Like they're teaching the standards, leave them alone. I don't even know if teachers even teach the standards anymore. I don't even know if that's a thing. That was big when I was teaching, that there were like state standards that you had to teach to. Yeah, Jana, this is really important. Chunk the assignment for yourself. Remember to break the assignment into manageable pieces so you don't get overwhelmed. And that is how I started my business. Was I had a checklist of all the things I needed to do, and it was like 40 things, something like that. And like little things, big things, and I just checked things off as I went and just got one piece at a time. Absolutely. Yeah, Makeup or Breakup blog says if you don't sell, then you have no company. There's a difference between pushy and just selling. Yeah, absolutely. But it's hard for me personally to find that line. Sharon says, as a teacher, it's not difficult to be creative and teach the curriculum. Absolutely. If your administration allows you to do that, that's the question. And some people are more creative than others. I did not find it difficult to be creative and teach the curriculum. I was just stopped from doing that. And I saw other people getting stopped from doing that. And I was like, dude, like what they're doing is working. Like there was a teacher that actually taught my oldest, and he ended up leaving in December because he just got so pissed because they wouldn't let him teach the way he knew was working for the kids. He went a little bit off the curriculum though. Like he went a little bit too far. He kind of pushed it, but it was working for the kids. He was teaching more advanced than what the kids than what was in the curriculum. He was like teaching the curriculum and then he was going a little further with it, and they didn't like that. Which sucked for my kid because my kid thrived on that. Yeah, Tanya says it's an ADHD thing, isn't it? To shut down when overwhelmed. Happens to me all the time. It is. It absolutely is. Yeah, Danny says there are still state standards and that's where lessons are based on. Yeah. And I think state standards are good. I think that it's good to have, you know, a skeleton of what you should do, but I think it should be up to the teacher to either use provided materials or to veer off in order to teach those. And as long as the kids are learning, as long as you can show that the kids are learning, it's like, yeah, Sharon says that's horrible. As long as I teach what I'm supposed to, my principal is cool with however I want to teach it. Yeah, and that's wonderful. You're very lucky. You're very lucky. There are schools like that. That's great. Oh, I just realized it's 11:01. It's time to go. Now it's time to say goodbye. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hopefully you still had fun today, even though we were a little off topic and it wasn't as low stress as we had intended at the start of the chat. But hopefully you still enjoyed it and found it interesting and maybe learned a little bit more about me and who I am as a person. I know I enjoyed learning a little bit more about the people that are here live. If you are watching this on the replay and you want to share your personal experience of who you are or your opinions down in the comments, I would love to read them and get to know you a little bit better. Chat next week will be at 5 p.m. I do have an early market, so I won't be around during the time when chat normally is. So yeah, hopefully all of that goes well and my marshmallows don't melt in the sun. Cross your fingers for me. And and yeah, have a wonderful week. Find your happy place. I hope that you are able to, in this very stressful time in our society, I hope you are able to take some time for yourself and find your happy place and decompress and just take some time for you and know how important that is. And don't feel bad about stepping away from responsibilities for a little while and just taking care of yourself. And I hope that you're able to do that.
Show your shirt.
Yes, my shirt. People want to see my shirt before I go.
Warm up, I guess.
Yes.
We've known each
Yes,
other
for so long. Fun fact, when I was in elementary school, that was my jazz dance for our recital for the end of the year when I was in elementary school. So, but yes, you've been rickrolled. Just kidding. All right. Love you guys. I will see you next week in chat. Mad love. Talk to you soon.